What's up, guys? Got some more Elder Scrolls Legends here today. I've been noticing kind of a shift in the meta that I'm going to be talking about today, and I think it's basically kind of turned the game into you're going to play either one of two decks mostly. So the one I'm playing over here is Strength and Intelligence, and playing that because the most common deck is one that uses willpower and intelligence. What it does that for is for two cards specifically for
I used to be an adventurer like you.
the Alduin's Echo, which gives everything in your deck a different keyword, and the
lead me into battle. Chaos take you.
This willpower one that's like the looking at our hand here really quick.
Do not test me, knave.
Is the captain that gives everything in your deck +3/+3. A combination of resummon this creature or trigger its ability again.
Steadfast,
things like that.
Chaos take you.
This should be good.
So basically, those are kind of the two main decks that do really well right now in the meta. And you can kind of beat and counter those, but you need specific types of decks. And the best way to counter them I've found is with Rush. If you just build an effective Rush deck, you're going to be able to beat out most of those higher mana cost decks. Now, this game is a lot harder to rush your opponents down, as we're even seeing from this little match right here, because whenever you do damage to them, you're making them draw a card. But if you can beat these, a lot of these higher cost decks before they can play anything out, you'll be able to fill up their hand and they won't be able to do anything, because their hand is full of really high cost cards.
Training is over. It's time to act.
Let's see here.
Gore and glory!
So that's basically kind of what the new meta is at a lot of these higher levels that I've been watching and seeing.
We stand united.
Come on then. I'll even let you swing first.
So you've got to be, you got to play smarter, you got to play to the meta in order to make sure that you have a better win-loss.
This is our moment.
Your orders.
Another deck that's also pretty good right now is the
I'll cleave your stone.
Orc rushing decks. Those decks are also doing very well.
There's nowhere they can hide.
Because once again, if you can just fill up their hand with expensive cards, like that guy played out his Renowned Legate last turn, 7 mana. He's gonna have another expensive card here, a Sanctuary Raid, so he'll kill a couple of my guys. But we've got a Swiftwing Dragon to win the game next turn, and we're not even gonna need it.
Lead me into battle. Lead me into battle.
So even though like
You
this would
are
normally be a
victorious.
pretty good deck that that guy was using, it's struggling because It's such a fast rush deck that we're using. I also think using the... Right now I'm doing kind of a red guard fast item deck. But I think you can also go for the... something like Ayla's Hunters. That's the deck available in the store right now. A deck like that, except getting rid of your high cost cards like Ayla herself. Keeping it down to, you know, maybe you have 4 really expensive cards. Like in this deck I have 2 Ogres and 2 Swiftwing Dragons. And so those are very effective because they're fast. They have charge, or they're adding 5 damage the turn they come out. I've also got things in here like the Rehod Horseman, the Skilled Blacksmith, so I have a few other options to kind of decrease my cost for some of these cards. The other option you have is if you've got, you know, 3600 Dust or some of those Alduin's Echo legendary dragons, then you should just go for that deck. In my opinion, a card draw deck with 3 captains and 3 of Alduin's Echo is the strongest deck in the meta currently. There's very little that can beat that. It'll beat out even those really top tier high endurance decks that do things like run the Blood Magic Lords and
I ride like the wind.
use a lot of those really expensive high cost powerful cards.
Is someone out there?
Now, normally what I do is we use Bone Bow, silence him, and then charge with this guy, but we want to keep our guys alive. Yeah. The reason I put Crushing Blow in here as well is because Crushing Blow does damage to anything. So you can kill... And you see, this is what we want. We want to be able to play out this Bone Bow. This guy will reduce the cost of our cards, but we don't really need that currently, because we can play 4 mana anyway, and we don't want to play 2 Bone Bows. So play up this guy.
Blood and shame.
And then you don't really want to, once you put your 1 item on your Rehod Horseman, you don't really want to put more if you can help it.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and do this.
Come at me.
Their defenses will crumble.
A strong arm is what you need.
Now it's important that you try to win and keep your creatures alive, but you also kind of need to be willing to concede a lane every now and then. Let's see here. So we could give our guy Shield Breaker. We'll do that.
The Silent Guard with you.
Do not test me.
Come on then. I'll even let you swing first.
This guy always looked like an orc to me. The Candlehearth Brawler, he looks like an orc. Yeah, you have to look really carefully at his face and you're like, okay, that's an orc, that's not an orc. See, See, and these dragons are pretty annoying, but we're gonna be able to play out this triumphant Jarl. Or actually, I'm actually gonna use Tome of Alteration, I think, instead. Because he's good, but this is a +2/+2. There we go.
I ride like the wind. Do not test me!
Okay, we should have waited to play him out afterwards, but it's still okay. We got enough for Bone Bow still. Okay, we need to get rid of that. So let's
I'll
attack,
cleave your skull.
and we're gonna give him the Bone Bow, and we're gonna silence that creature. Silence another. Okay. Sometimes it's always important to check that it doesn't have to be in that lane. Some cards, if it's not in that lane, it won't work. That one, it'll say directly on there, like this guy, you know, summon, silence another creature. Some things like the spider, the 3 mana, 2/2, lethal, from agility. Those guys you got to be careful with, because
You must be
if
cleansed.
you don't put them in the lane, they're not going to work out well for you.
What have we here?
And that could be game for us, folks. Let's go
I'll
ahead
cleave
and,
your skull.
we'll do this.
Do not test me!
I'll cleave your skull.
As you can see, having items is a very important part of it, because the items allow you to do things that they don't expect. You know, they're looking at it and they're not really expecting, oh, okay, he's going to be able to play this type of card or that type of. He's not going to be able to do more than 6 damage because he has 2 creatures and they're 3/3 each or something. The items work sort of like actions in that they do unexpected things that your opponent doesn't always plan for. We want to always get rid of prophecy cards. Sometimes it's good to keep one in your hand, but generally you don't want those there. And generally you don't want like a Swiftwing Dragon in your starting hand, but it's okay. As an experiment, I was able to get one of those Dragon Mounds in a pack. And so I've been trying it with this deck a little bit. It works really well in an Alduin deck, because then everything you play is a dragon. But here, if you play it, it allows you to step up your cards, because the one thing about this deck that can happen to you is you can get defeated by maybe a bunch of spells or a bunch of lethal creatures or something that just kind of kills off all of your units.
Greetings.
There's also, currently in the meta too, you can see a little bit of a few Atronach decks. It can be good, but I feel like it needs a little bit more of a buff, because compared to what you can do with Alduin's Echo and the Captain combo, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you're gonna get destroyed every time by that sort of deck, because, you know, you're playing out what used to be a 1/2, you know, Thief's Guild apprentice or recruit, and it's now like a 10/10 with breakthrough and regenerate, because you've been able to play out those guys. And even though you can, you know, be resummoning these Atronachs and play things like Lava Atronachs and summon 2 at a time, it's still not gonna be able to do half as well. You know, even if you're able to play out Iron Atronachs or Flesh Atronachs with a lot of health, there's still things that could be silenced and put away. And this guy may have just AFK'd because of this combo, because it's so common right now.
A strong arm.
I
is what you need.
can't really blame him because of how stupidly common strength, intelligence, red guard, item, rush build is right now. It's just silly. And this isn't even like a 100% specialized, perfect card pick deck. It's just a sample of what you can do
Do not test me.
with this type of deck.
The day shall be ours.
Oh man. So we've got pretty much 80% strength cards, so Mighty Ally will trigger, but you can't win them all, I guess. Hopefully it's something like the Alteration Tome or something. And see, this type of deck is exactly what will beat out Scout Agility Endurance deck. There's literally like, this poor guy can't do anything to combat it.
To silent guard with you.
Do not touch me.
Yeah, see, he's just disconnected. This was me a few weeks ago. About a week ago. I just got so tired of seeing this deck. And I was like, you know what? I should just join them, right? It's like in Hearthstone when everybody was playing Pirate Warrior. It's the same thing going on here. Is there's just too many big decks, you know, that the best way to excel is with fast rush decks that just beat down those big decks. The poor Tree Minder, see, he's very sad because he's not going to be able to see play anymore. He's just being overtaken by the Battlemage, the Red God Battlemage. And it's funny because there are only like 1 or 2 red guards in the whole deck, and everything else is like Orc and Nord. Just give them the red guard items and you're good to go. That's a pretty good hand, but we don't want more Gatekeeper if we can. They had to mulligan their whole hand there because they're like, oh, I don't know what kind of scary stuff he has. What kind of scary rush he's gonna hit me with. And that's part of the reason these skilled blacksmiths are so
A strong
strong,
arm is what
because
you need.
they're 2/3. So they can't be killed by firebolt like
My
everything
Arcane
else
Beard,
can.
this day will be mine.
This is another common deck right now, is a ward deck, because it
not
wins
test
a lot of these early trades that are very common.
A strong arm is what you need.
Confound you!
It's not what we want to face.
Do not touch me.
Come on then. I'll even let you swing first.
I gotta hope they do not have some kind of item they're gonna give their little mammoth here.
Confound you!
That was interesting. I would have used it differently. Okay, to play out Greystone Ravager or the Orc Clan guy, we're gonna Crushing Blow the Mammoth, and we're gonna play out the Captain. So we'll do this first.
We stand
I'll
united.
cleave
Do
you
not
down.
test me.
Now if I was him, I don't know if I would have attacked with my Mammoth there. I think holding it back was better, because then it would have wasted an attack for me. I would have had to attack it. There we go, shield breaker time.
Careful there, friend.
Okay. So we're gonna give him Shield Breaker, I think. Because 3/3. Play out him.
This should be good.
Yeah, see, if we play Shield Breaker on him, it guarantees that 2 of their attacks are wasted. Probably.
I'll cleave
Do
your
not
skull.
test me! Come at me!
So unless he can do something really impressive next turn, he's out. Because we still have that Greystone Ravager, and we can give him the Savage
Your
Overture.
blood will spill!
Yeah, see, that way we got rid of the Ward Crafter. He used up both his attacks. Our lane is full. Partially full. Yeah, you're playing out something like Thief of Dreams. You're desperate for like a card to help you.
Confound you!
And that's game.
A clash for the ages.
By the egg, a fine battle.
And that's it. See, even during this video alone, my elo is a little low, but I was trying out some different decks. What we're playing right now, about 3 o'clock Pacific time. A card upgrade. And so it's not like a main play time. I mean, it's what's today? Isn't that terrible? Can't remember what today is. Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, today's a Wednesday. And we're just destroying all these poor guys because of the power of this silly deck right now. It's very easy to make. I'll go ahead and show it at the end of the video. I was going to wait to do another video, and this was going to kind of be a meta analysis, but since this deck is doing even better than I thought, we'll go ahead and have a look at it. Now this is the deck that I was talking about probably. This guy, Intelligence and Willpower, he's probably playing the Alduin Echo Captain deck that is so common and so powerful if you can't keep
Bless us, kind. May we
high
serve
in
you with every word.
metas. Okay, we're gonna bone bow him because then we would win that trade. The idea when you're playing against this deck is you just want to get rid of them as soon as you can. You want to just rush them until they run out of stuff to do.
meet their makers.
For the loyal
This is
right.
another good card to play in this deck if you have one. Daggerfall Mage. They're pretty rare, I'd say. Well, they're legendary, right?
shall
They're
be
hard to
ours.
get. Why are you not working, Mighty Ally? I'd have been better off playing.
She'll take you.
Yeah, you play out this guy, and then this whole lane is just lost, basically, because you don't want to play anything over there with that.
I'm ready for anything.
Got a prophecy here. Now we may end up losing this because we got unlucky not only with this Mighty Ally, but with our Orc as well. Having an unlucky start. Let's have a look-see at what our options are. Okay, we could silence that guy. We don't want to do that right now. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll take out this guy. Killa or the bone bow. And we'll silence the mage. Now we're not going to be able to play out Triumphant Jarl next turn and gather up more points, unfortunately. More cards. They're going to do damage to us, so...
Shall take you.
I see you're in need of my wisdom.
Very strong indeed. We do not have a good hand here. We're struggling.
We stand united.
The other nice thing about this deck is you can take a lot of damage and then come back at the end. So we'll see if we can do that. Here's Dragon Mound, which in this case we do not want.
So, it has been written.
Oh, blah. Well, this is probably it for us, folks. Sure, we can do that, but not much good for us.
There's nowhere they can hide.
Now, we probably should have just damaged the Fate Weaver and killed them, but I think we have enough stuff to do
Shall take you.
well here. We'll go ahead and end this video here. Yeah, we won 4 out of 5 games there with Strength Intelligence, Battlemage, Orc Nord, items. Very strong deck currently. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.